Hey, Giselle here with another deck optimizer video. I want to apologize in advance as I'm just freestyling this video. There's no script or anything in advance, so I really just wanted to get this out as quickly as possible so you guys can just enjoy this tool, because I'm really excited about how this thing has really just come along and evolved. So with the first iteration of the deck optimizer tool, you see what we're looking at right now, in which the deck optimizer tool is really just built on constructing a deck that is very cost efficient and effective for whatever deck that you're trying to build in terms of net card advantage. Meaning, when you end a duel, whether if you win or lose, more than likely you should have more cards in your hand on the field than your opponent. However, this iteration of the deck optimizer, we're now looking at the tool with the same premise as before in terms of net card advantage. However, we're implementing finer control, in which we can implement card combinations. So as you can see, what I'm doing right now here is that we have a Blue Eyes deck that I want to optimize, or just a grouping of cards in which that I want to put into a Blue Eyes deck. So I'm starting off with Galaxy Soldier and the Melody of Awakening Dragon. So this is the first piece of the card combination here, in which both cards can discard any card. Well, not actually any card. In the case of Galaxy Soldier, it has to be a light monster. But in the case of the Melody of Awakening Dragon, it can be any card. But we really just want to discard our cards that can just push our game state forward. So in piece 2, I'm looking at Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm looking at Dragon Spirit of White, the White Stone of Ancients, and the White Stone of Legend. So for the first piece, there's 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier, up to 3 copies of the Melody of Awakening Dragon, and I place that in piece 1. And then for all the other cards, we have anywhere up to 15 cards, as I selected 5 targets. So I just went with 12, and now I'll just click optimize. And the cool thing about this tool is that it will focus on the combos, as well as making sure that we have a positive net card advantage compared to the limit that I have in place for it. So as you can see here, the net card advantage on the bottom is -2, but I set the limit to be very low. It's like -10. So as you can see here, I have 1 copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon, which I don't like already, 3 copies of Dragon Spirit of White, 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients, and so on. But it does total out to be 12 cards, which is exactly what I specified. And then for Galaxy Soldier and the Melody of Awakened Dragon, 6 cards. It's working, but I don't like that build. So let's go on and just flesh it out in terms of all the other cards that we can have for other card combinations. So I want 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, and I want 3 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. That's a combo in itself, a very powerful one, as we all know. So I'll put in 3 cards, 3 cards. Now if I just click optimize, it'll carry that out, and we'll see in a moment. And I just think this is just so awesome, as you can see. So now we look at the results here, and it's 3 and 3. So we're making some progress here. We're making some serious progress. But that's not good enough for me. So there's other card combos that I want in the deck that I want to make sure that it runs properly. Now, as you can see in the basics, or in the basic tools box, which I'll get back to in a bit, also has some other presets in there to help define what I want the deck to look like in terms of the traps and disruptive cards and so on and so forth. But here is the next, or the final, well, not the final 2-card, but the third 2-card combination here, which I want to be able to dump and revive a dragon turn 1, or multiple dragons with Soul Charge. So with Dragon Shrine and Foolish Burial, we can have 4 cards there. So Foolish Burial is limited to 1, and Dragon Shrine we have 3 copies, so that's a total of 4 cards. And then we also have Silver's Cry, the Return of the Dragon Lords, and Soul Charge, which is up to 7 cards, but I just went with 6. 7, it's probably overkill, so just went with 6 there. And then for the final card combination here, I want to take advantage of the Sage with Eyes of Blue, in which I don't have to normal summon this card. I can just use the second effect, which is target another card on the field, send it to the graveyard, and special summon a Blue Eyes monster from the deck itself. So set that card. So I have 3 copies of that card, and I have up to, say, 15 cards, but I just went with 10 cards for the second card grouping. And now I can just click optimize, and as you can see here, I run into a snag in which the optimizer is just, it doesn't have enough space for a 40 card deck to have all of these card combinations and have the other prerequisites that I have in the basic toolbox. So as you can see, I want 7 cards that are disruptive. I want 3 spell trap removal cards, and it's pretty much just saying no. So just to troubleshoot the area, I just want to make sure that I can actually have enough space in the deck for the combo itself. So I'll just run the optimizer without any of those prerequisites in the basic toolbox, and as you can see, it works out. And I learned that I have some space left over, in which you can see here, as I have 3 copies to trade in. I have let's see, it's looking, well, yeah, I see 3 copies of the White Stone of Legend, so there is some space there for me to add in some more cards. So that's an okay build. I can live with that for now if I were just to play casually, but if I wanted this deck to be competitive, then I need some answer for cards like Solemn Warning or Solemn Strike or Vanity's Emptiness. So I need to have the spell trap removal. So I'll go back and place 3 copies there, and I'm gonna go ahead and just run it again, see if I have enough space for that. And this is a process that users will just have to undertake and see how much space that they have in the deck to maintain their card combos and still have room left over to be disruptive and toolbox your way out of some tricky situations if we're going second. So now I want to just add some disruptive cards. So I think I'm just going to go ahead with 6 cards here. I think I had 7, which gave us an error, and 6 is pretty much it. The deck is full at this point, and I really like the results, as we can see here. This is pretty much the makings of a competitive Blue Eyes deck, in which some cards may be interchangeable. In the case of that second White Stone of Legend, that can be another card, that can be something else. But in terms of being consistent on the first turn, as well as having the control and just with the combos, and still having some disruptive cards, and then in addition some cards that can protect the monsters on board. So I think this is a really good, like a really good deck. But stay tuned for the next video, in which I'm just gonna go a little bit in depth in terms of everything else that you can do with the optimizer. But I just wanted to throw this out and just let you know that the optimizer is now available to download.